And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster and I'm touching base with you as I always do. It is Monday morning. It is Motivation Monday. You know how we roll on Motivation Monday. So we'll be talking about today. Today is let me show you what the Motivation Monday conversation is going to be about. And we are going to be talking about today working through the world's uncertainty. Just a reminder. So we're revisiting this one. So we'll be talking about that later. And I want to show you some photos also from this weekend. We had Soul Summit here in New York City. For those that don't know, Soul Summit is a gathering that happens usually it's the first weekend of the month of July, the first weekend of the month of August. But it looks like it was the second week. So, but it happened. It happened yesterday. And I was out there in that park photographing, but I don't go for the whole thing. One of my friends was like, Ron, you're not here yet? I was like, no, I only go for the last hour and a half. I only go for the last hour and a half when the sun is almost down, when the sun is setting. One is because we also know that the best pictures are taken sunrise and sunset. Everyone looks good with a sunset glow. Even the people that are not as, you know what I'm saying. But you can make them look more beautiful with the sunset. Take pictures of folks during the sunset, and they will look good every time. Good morning, Hannah. You're in the building. I see Hannah's in the building. She says, good morning, Ron and Touch Base Daily family. She is in the building. So if you are in the building, also make sure you hit the likes. And so that way the algorithms can know that we are on live and that there's something going on over here. So what else is going on? How did you spend your weekend? I am curious to know. Hey, Mimi, I see you in the building. Mimi says, good morning, Ron and RLP crew. I see you. Who else is out there? I didn't send any invitations out this morning. Maybe I should. I don't know. Elise and them probably, I know Elise is on travel time and Gwendolyn is doing her thing. But you know what? Why not just send it out to Gwendolyn? Send it out to Gwendolyn and send it out to Elise. There we go. Those are my partners in crime. We know Chris is away. So here we go. I'm going to put that out there. So if they want to pop on, they can, because they've been traveling and I would love to hear their stories. So today we'll be looking at some photography, and we're going to be talking about, again, our Motivation Monday, which is working through the world's uncertainty. And boy, do we need that. And again, like I told you, I said, I'm not going to talk about Trump too much these days because you get enough of it. You get enough of it everywhere else. So we're going to really start more gearing ourselves towards photography. And, we do photography, but I want to do more photography, more conversations on how we can make our lives better. So that is what we're doing on this platform. So it'll be less of politics, and we'll just kind of like restrict it to how we started. Only on Thursday, when we do Trend Watch Thursday, we'll be talking about politics if it's necessary. Oh, the Sunny Boy is in the building. Adrian is in the building. He says, I took some more pics today. I'd like to submit for your approval. How's the travels going? How are the travels going anyway? Yes, I saw his pictures from yesterday. He and his honey, Nancy, they were hiking. And I said, oh, in my head, I was like, see, I taught you well. I taught you how to hike. So now you can teach people how to hike because I taught you when you were a teenager how to hike. There you go. I see in the building also, Mimi says, did you get pictures of Manhattan Hinge? Maybe misspelled, but I bet that was beautiful. I did not go to Manhattan Hinge because Friday, we had thunderstorms in the evening. And so you have what's called low-level, I don't call them low-level clouds because they're not really low-level, but you had clouds at the horizon. And when Manhattan Hinge happens here in New York City, what makes it spectacular is when the sun is on the horizon of the Palisades, and then the light is flowing down all of the avenues, right? It lines up with the grid of the Manhattan street grid. So, for those that don't know, I used to go all the time to the Manhattan Hinge. And I've taken some really incredible Manhattan Hinge photos. But lately it's been cloudy or rainy, and it's not worth going. At least if I can't get photos better than the photos I have already, then it's not worth my time, because you have to go there and sit, wait hours, fight against other photographers that are not so nice. There's only two types of photographers, and I will say this over and over. There are givers who are photographers, and there are takers. The unfortunate thing, most photographers are givers. Most photographers are thinking about the world and thinking outside of themselves, thinking about how they can make the world a better place. But then there's that little portion of photographers. They are so unnerving, and all they want is me, 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 me. So you have to fight against the me, 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 me people when you do Manhattan Hinge. No matter, it doesn't matter what avenue you're on to take the photos. So no, I did not do Manhattan Hinge. And then we had Manhattan Hinge on Saturday, and I had a special guest that came to Brooklyn. It was Lisa. Lisa was in town. She hung out. She came by the house. We hung out. I was able to give her her shirts that she got that I bought for her from Martha's Vineyard last year. Took her almost a year to get it. That's another story. Anyway, we had a good time. We went to dinner. She treated me out to dinner. We had a good time. It was great. We had a wonderful conversation from the moment she walked. Well, anytime Lisa and I start talking, we just start talking. We just talk. So she came in the building, and we just talk. And then she's like, "Ron, do you want to go get something to eat? I'm hungry." I said, "Let's go get something to eat. I'm hungry too." And we sat in the restaurant and talk. And so she was worth more than the Manhattan Hinge. So that's why I missed Manhattan Hinge on Saturday, because I was hanging out with Lisa and she was worth it. So, and it was also cloudy. It was like hazy, cloudy kind of day. You had those like, I always call them like marshmallow clouds in the sky. So you really, when the sun goes to a certain level, you're not going to get the most spectacular photos. So it wasn't worth it. Not worth more than Lisa. Okay, let's see who else is in the building. Okay, speaking of Lisa, she says, "Hey, everyone." And Lisa says, "Mimi, I wanted to, but I missed it. When I heard about it, it was the second day. I went the first day pics next year." Hey, Food Plane is in the building. Hello, Ron. DS here. Yes, Mr. DS is in the building. He says, "Hello, Hannah." And also, what else is he saying? He says, what's something or someplace you want to photograph, but you have not yet? Oh, what places have? Oh, there's a whole lot of places I haven't gone yet. Oh, that's the reason why I'm selling my apartment. So I can go out into the world and take more photos. So I can get out into the world and take photos and bring them to you. I have never photographed. Something I really want to do, and I cannot wait to get to Namibia to do it, is do a desert safari and photograph the animals in the desert and the elephants. Because the elephants in Namibia are thinner and smaller than the elephants in northern Namibia or Botswana or in South Africa, because they don't have as much vegetation because they live in the deserts. So they look different. The elephants look different. The animals look different. And you have all these backdrops of, you have the elephants, and you had the kudu and all the other animals, zebras. They're all hanging out at the water hole. That's what I can't wait to photograph. So anyway, should I be entering? Let me also check on my Instagrammers. I need to invite the Instagrammers in on this conversation. So let me get that in real quick while I am chatting with you. And then I'm going to do some greetings in a moment. Okay, let me do that real quick. Public. Here we go. We got to always include the Instagrammers, right? Because also the Instagrammers is kind of like it's an advertisement that we're on. So people are just kind of like passing by an Instagram, they will come over to YouTube. So let's get that done. Let me get that on the screen. Also, I didn't get let's do that. Save changes, undo that, and then add. I'm adding okay. Here we go. Get that paste in there. Instagram is now queued. It's queued in. Instagram is now queued in. So here we go. And thank you for your patience as y'all wait for me. I'm going to show you some photos from. I just photographed a little bit yesterday. I should say I photographed a lot. I just edited a couple of photos for yesterday's Soul Summit. So I'll share some of that with you guys this morning, and let me know what you think of them. Okay, let's get some more. That was a good question, Mr. Food Plane, Mr. DS. DS, that was a good question. I always love questions. Kimmy Kim is in the building. She says, hi, everyone. Kimmy Kim is in the building. Again, if you just arrived, make sure you hit the likes for the algorithms. Mimi says, Lisa says, it was a great time. It's good. Lisa's like a little sister, so I love having Lisa around. We come from some of our background it overlaps, so it's always good to be with like-minded people. And Lisa says, yes, I told Ron my whole life. She did. She had me. She almost had me. I was on the verge of tears on one of our conversations. I was like, I just sat there in awe. And it just reminded me that all of us have stories. All of us have been through stuff. Everyone has something to share to make others better because you made it through. You made it through your circumstance. And by going through that circumstance, you are able to help others weather their storms. And Lisa, man, we talked about so much, and it was great. It was great. And you know what I say about this platform is one thing to have friends in cyberspace. We meet each other online in our new world, but you can't say that person is your friend, like a friend, until you build a relationship offline. That's why when you guys come to New York, I'm always like, I get excited and want to make time for you, because it's better to have a real face encounter, a real smile to smile encounter. Then one guy that when I used to follow, I still follow on LinkedIn, and he used to say, and if your number is not in my contacts, then we're not really good friends. We're not real friends. We're just cyber friends, right? When you graduate into the contacts of an individual, you are their friend. Okay, so think about that. Hey, Aya's in the building. I see you, Aya. Grand Rising Ron and everyone. Hey, Fifi's in the building. Hey, Fifi. Are you on the road? Are you on the truck? Are you trucking somewhere? Our truck driver, our community truck driver. Lisa said, I took a few photos in Ron's apartment. The view is amazing, but he is right. It was kind of overcast. The photo is in my stories. Everyone that comes to my apartment, that's the first thing they do. They whip out that camera. Even my buddy, she's right here, right now on the side. Listen to me. My palsy, my bestie, I mean, she's my everything. She's right here on the side, right here. She's like, she says, hey, I'll hang out while you're doing your show. I said, really? And here she is. Here she is. And oh, I got an invoice paid just now. Oh, yay. So good that my client for tomorrow has paid her bill. I just saw it come up on the screen. Invoice paid. I'm like, yes. I love when I see that email going across the screen. Food Plane says, Mr. Diaz says, wow, that would be amazing. There are other places I want to go. I just talked to Dr. Tachi last week because she may be going to Thailand. Now, I was originally supposed to go to Mexico City. I might scrap Mexico City if I can get it in alignment with Dr. Tachi going to Thailand. And I told her that if she goes to Thailand, guess who's meeting her in Thailand in October? So I've never been to Asia. I've never been to Asia. And if I go to Thailand, you can't go to Thailand without going to Vietnam. And you can't go to Thailand and Vietnam without going to Cambodia. So then I have to make a whole month of it. And then we'll be live from Asia. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Oh, and then so what else? Let's see here. Okay, food. I see here. Lisa says, "Do you get bites on Safari? Seems like it would be bugs, bugs galore. Like bugs off. Can't manage." That's a good question. When you are on Safari, there are lots of bugs. However, you have less bugs. Anyone that's been on Safari, if you can vouch for me on this one. Safaris are done early in the morning. When I mean early, you're usually up as the sun is coming up. Like the sun is at the very bottom of the horizon. And you are getting ready to get into your Range Rover because they hate when you say Jeeps. Most places have Range Rovers. You get into your Range Rover, your Safari, your Ranger is guiding you, and you have a Ranger and you have a driver. And it's so early in the morning that there are not a lot of bugs. There are bugs, but there's not a lot of them. The bugs don't come out until the sun comes up. Once the sun comes up, like the sun is up and high, whoa, the bugs are vicious. And they're not just, they're mosquitoes, but most of them are just random bugs just flying around. Some of these little cute little bugs. When I was in South Africa, there was these little bugs that would land on you, and they had like a little orange. They had orange, green, and yellow bodies. They were beautiful. These bugs were beautiful, but they were pesky. So yes, that's a good question. I try to use my bug off or whatever I can have. I usually have it's like a DEET, but it's not a chemical DEET. But then I think I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to order, before I leave, Skin So Soft from Avon. Of all of the bug repellents in my life, it's not literally a bug repellent, but it is the best thing I've ever used all of my life. It is the best. Skin So Soft from Avon, if they still have it. Most people use it for bug repellent. It's like one of the best things. So when I go to Safari this time, I will probably have that in my suitcase, the big suitcase, because you can't carry the big one on the plane. But yeah, there are bugs and lots of them. And I see Kaz says, good morning. She said, blessed, motivated Monday, all. Elise is in the building. She says, good morning, everyone. And I hear someone at the door. Speaking of Elise, I think I saw her come up the driveway. Oh, wait a minute. I hear her. And you know what? She's at the door. And you know what that means? That means... Do you hear the ding dong? Do you hear the bell of the mansion? Yes, my little mansion bell is ringing because Elise Okay, here she goes. Hey, Elise, what's going on? Good morning. Welcome to the morning. You're back in your casa.
Yes, I'm back home. Good morning, everyone. I survived Texas.
You survived Texas. You survived right-leaning Texas.
Oh, yes, right, leaving Texas. I guess thank goodness I was in Austin.
Welcome back home. So how was your time in Texas?
It was nice. It was nice to be there with my daughter. I was there for like 6 days, um, and then helping her celebrate her birthday. And
Mm.
we went to the Four Seasons and then got massages.
Oh, the massage.
Yes, we got a massage. We both kept saying we needed one. And I was like, okay, we're gonna go get one. So we treated her. My husband and I treated her to her massage for her birthday.
For her birthday. Nice,
Yes,
nice.
I told her she has a nice. The apartment is nice and roomy, but I said, it's not enough us down there for me.
Because
A couple more.
you were in Austin, right?
Yeah, in Austin. Yeah.
Did you see the bats?
Oh no, I didn't go looking for the
You
bats.
didn't go check out the bats? Oh man, that's like one of the main things to do in Austin. Is like
and it
there's a
is for
bridge.
Northerners.
Huh?
It is for Northerners.
Oh, come on.
To go
They
look
be
at that.
lining it up. They be lined up on that bridge, underneath the bridge. And what happens is, for those that don't know, in Austin, there's this bridge, the main bridge that goes from downtown to Central, or just like
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And so when every evening around 7 o'clock ish, as
Around
the sun is
sunset.
starting to go down,
Yeah,
you
around
see
sunset.
everyone gathering at the bridge. They're on top of the bridge, they're under the bridge, they're below, they're by the water. And then at whatever that time is that those little bats get excited, thousands of bats come from under the bridge and they go into the sky and they just like go to this feasting time. So they're going to go eat all the
Get those
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes. Yes.
They're going to get the mosquitoes. That I'm always thankful for the bats because they eat the mosquitoes and they come out in a black wave. However, when I was in Austin,
they didn't come out.
They decided to take the day off.
And so my daughter said, sometimes like after the rain, maybe a few days after the rain, because water puddles and more mosquitoes, maybe they come out. She pointed the bridge out to me, but then I shared with her. I said, that's all exciting for people who grew up in the North. It's not exciting for me. I saw bats at nighttime in Alabama, and I ran from bats at night in Alabama because we all thought they were gonna run into us or something. So we saw swarms of bats all the time. I said, I'm not gonna go and watch people watch.
We city folks, we don't see bats. I mean, we have bats here in New York. We have bats in Central Park, Prospect Park. We have bats, but not like that. I mean, I was like, Batman. Obviously, Batman was one of my favorite heroes. Right. It was my favorite superhero. Mimi says, Ron, the locals stay away. Not as many bats. Yes, they love the bats. I love the bats. Anyway,
I think it's great for people who haven't seen swarms of bats at night.
I've never seen it, and what was crazy is I'm so excited. There's hundreds of people waiting for the bats. Hundreds are waiting.
Yeah,
there was like 5 or 6. Then it was like 10. Then it was like 8, and that was it. And what happened to the bats?
They may have had some that because it had been raining. It was humid. I know mosquitoes were out, so they may have had some come out at night. But I wasn't near the bridge at night. I was. That's not me.
But Austin is one of the best cities. I won't say it's the best city in Texas, but it's one of my favorite food cities in the United States.
Oh, okay.
It's just there's so much food in Austin. You have the Mexican foods, or you have what they call Mexican Texan. So they call it
Tex-Mex. Tex-Mex. Yes.
And the foods are just so good. The brisket, like I said, when I went to Austin, and I'm not a red meat eater, but when I was in Austin, When I came home, I needed a whole body correction. So much meat. I ate meat every freaking day, all day. The sausages, the biscuits, the burgers, everything is good in Texas. I don't know how people survive in that state. That's why a lot of people in Texas are overweight. But that's another story for another day.
Well, my daughter says the people in Austin are particularly health conscious. So you don't see a lot of overweight people down there, for real. You don't. Like you don't see
they also have a lot of running trails.
They do.
They have a lot of running trails along the river.
Yeah, they walk, they run. You see them all day. And yeah, I had some good food, but I don't eat red meat. I'm not trying to be sick, but I don't eat all the meats. But I did have some good food though. I won't say it's the best food place for me, but yeah, I had some good food.
I love food. I'm a foodie. Lisa says, let me see here. It was kind of okay. Here we go. Okay, I'm all caught up here. Wow. DS says, wow, that would be amazing. Let me make sure I got everybody in here. I see that. Oh, food plane. You got DS has got a lot of questions today. I like it. I love questions. DS says, is there such a thing as using too much AI to edit pics? You want to keep the pics as authentic as possible. How do you do that using AI? I only use AI is very part of editing in today's world. So editing the AI mechanisms have made it faster to edit photos. For instance, I have a project and I'm working on an event. It's like one of my clients is Verizon. So they have an event. I do the photos. And then next thing I have really like 200, 300 photos to go through. I can go through those photos much faster because of AI. I can lay them all out and look at them, cancel photos that are blurry. So like you can set it up where it will get rid of blurry photos. But in editing, I like my photos to look as real as possible. Like I actually saw it. I might add a little extra color because when you shoot in RAW, you lose color. So when you shoot in RAW format, that's RAW versus JPEG, JPEG retains color. RAW, raw footage, photographs, you lose because what happens is you think of it as a soundboard. When you walk into a studio, you can have a monotone. You can just have a mono speaker and just playing the music. Then you can go and also put in stereo. Then you can go and put in Dolby Digital and have 5 speakers and they're all on different channels. And then you can go to like a music studio and every single thing is on a channel. That's what RAW does for you. So you can go in and change every color one by one by adding or taking away, subtracting, so you can create better. So that's why photographers shoot in RAW, so you have more control over the outcome. So AI is very important. AI has been with us for years in photography. It's just that people right now make a big deal of it because AI is now more popularized because of ChatGPT and all other stuff that's out there. But Adobe has done an amazing job with adding AI. For instance, I can now take photos and go onto put in Adobe, and I can get rid of junk. For instance, if there's a lamppost in the wrong spot, but the photo is beautiful, I can get rid of the lamppost. So sometimes it's good to have it, and then there's again, it's using it as a tool. It's a tool, and you use it to its best ability. So that's the best way to explain it, because you may want, let's say you take your photo and you want to create an AI generated photo where it looks like a cartoon or some kind of illustration, like more animated. You can get your regular photo. Like I take a photo of me right now and then put it in AI and it makes me an animation.
Right.
So it depends on what you want your outcome to be, is how you use your AI. Does that answer? Is that a good answer? Is that understandable? So
he said he agrees.
Okay, good job. Okay. I see also in here, Jazzy's in the building. She says, good morning, beautiful people. Good to see you. Lisa says, yes, don't let the pretty fool you. This girl has been through it. Weather and Storms Daily. Thanks, Ron, for listening. Ron was aghast. Couldn't believe most of it. That girl got a couple of books. Let me tell you. Woo! I was like, dog it. I said I would have been crushed. Fifi says, Tennessee today. She's driving in Tennessee. She's on the road again. There you go. Wait, bestie, who is this? Oh, Lisa's right here. She is my Lisa. Oh my God, Linda. Linda is my Lisa. Linda is my bestie.
You gotta be careful, right
here. She's right here on the sofa.
You gotta be careful.
I was like, I got like 2 L's. You know, my brain has to like compute. Like, okay, I just said Lisa. Now I gotta say Linda. Lisa, Linda, Lisa, Linda.
You gotta stay covered, right?
That's right. Linda has been with me through the thick and thin, the ups, the downs. We have been through it. Our friendship started at the Container Store. And we've been friends ever since.
Oh, that's nice.
Ever since day one. From the moment I met her, I was like, oh, she is so cool. And we were friends ever since. And can I tell you, and she is one of the reasons why I understand friendship better. Because we do this. We consciously make sure we spend time together. Because she'll say, Ron, it's been a couple of weeks. I haven't heard. We haven't done something. Or it's been a couple of months. Where are you? What's going on? Because we try to get together every other month to get together for dinner.
Right.
And we always get together to celebrate each other's birthdays. We have key spots in the city that we go to. We like to eat different places. And then sometimes we'll go somewhere new. But we have our traditional places. And we make sure you have to if you want friendships that last a lifetime, you have to invest in your friendships over the lifetime. So, I agree. She is on it. And then sometimes I'll be here and I'll be like, wait, I haven't talked to Linda. Where is Linda? I was like, just thinking of you. Now I'll send her a little text, and say, hello, lover. She's my lover. She's my Latin lover. Latin lover. She's giggling over here. I go, Latin lover. She's been my Latin lover ever since. She's like, hey, lover. Hey, lover. We call each other lover. So that's our relationship. But you have to maintain you have to maintain your relationships. You can't have friends and say, you know how many people you meet over the years, and then you're good close friends, and then you say I talked to someone and they said, have you talked to this is one of Adrian's friends. I said, have you talked to Adrian? I'm butting in Adrian's business, like his friend, one of his friends. When one of his friends reached out to me, we were hanging out. And I said, have you talked to Kevin? Have you talked to Adrian? I said, what's going on? What's happening? Those are your friends. You guys grew up together. There's no reason why you're not talking. Talk. If you want friendships, you stay engaged. Because what happens when you do that, when time does get in there, an alarm goes off in your soul, your spirit, in your head and says, ding, 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 ding. I haven't talked to such and such in a long time. Let me get on the phone.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, Ron. That's the way how I am.
Oh, I know how you are. Yep.
I'm going to call you. I'm going to text you. I'm going to DM you. I'm going to get in touch with you. And then, and you do go through that experience where you send a message or something and you don't hear anything forever. And so I thought it was just like, okay, so I'm not going to, I did it I'm not going to do it right now. I'm going to let them text me back because I was just listening to something today when it said that, and when it talked about people and how they do that to people, how they don't, and then they'll come back because they need something or they want you to listen to their stories. And that's where you have to realize where that person holds you. And it was something I heard, one of these things I use all the time, and it was something I heard, is that for some people, all you are is the break when emergency glass. So when there's an emergency, that's the only time you hear from them. Only when they need something, not when just to check in. And those aren't friendships.
Mm-mm. One of my nephews called me, sent me a text. He needed money. Mm-hmm. And he was going through some situation. And he texted me. But he never texts me. So he texted me and he had a request. And I told him, I said, you can't come to the bank until you put money. I said, until you make deposits.
Make a deposit. Yes, make deposit.
I said, You cannot call me or text me asking for something when you don't even text to say hello.
Right.
And so now I could have been the good uncle. And I could have been the uncle that spoiled him and said, oh, but next time do it. Make sure you stay in contact. I said, nope, you can't get anything this time. I said, make deposits.
Yeah,
because you have to make deposits.
Right.
Don't make your relationships, family or friends, transactional.
Yeah. And that's what they said too, is that if it's that way, then it's simply a transaction.
It's transactional. So
you have to know when you're in transactional relationships only. Like I'm that person that's going to text or say something to you out of the blue with nothing. I'm not looking for anything, just want to make sure you're okay. And I'll show up for you. I will show up for you wherever, right? Like that's the one thing. And what was interesting, the last 2 times I've gone to art events, and people I've been talking, I'm standing there talking to an artist, and someone comes up and asks who I am. The artist has told them who I am. They've described what they think of me to the person. Yeah, and I've been fascinated by them describing me to other people, or the people who are in attendance or other artists. It's interesting to watch that. And they say the one thing about me is they know I'm going to show up. I called my sister yesterday because I always check on my sisters. I'm the one that's checking on everybody in the family, right? So I called my sister, and I knew and she's in Cleveland, and I knew my nephew was there. I had been there since the 2nd of July. So I called, and she said, oh, well, he said he was going to come visit me, but I haven't seen him. And and she said, he hasn't called me back. So you know me, Ron. I get on the phone.
You get on the phone. You do.
I get on the phone. I say, hello. And how you doing? I start with the pleasantries first. I said, so let me tell you, I just finished talking to your aunt. And if you don't contact her, I said, first of all, when do you leave? I said, are you still there? And he said, yes, I won't leave until Tuesday. And I said, so let me tell you this. If I call my sister and she tells me she hasn't heard from you and you haven't gone to visit her, because she's also one of the people, once I left Cleveland, she helped his mother and my mother raise the 2 boys. I said, if she tells me that you haven't contacted her or something, it's going to be a problem. I said, and you will see me down in Texas. I'll be standing at your door down there in Fort Worth at your door and coming for you. And he's like, oh, well, she didn't call me. I said, first of all, your aunt can barely see. And she's waiting for you to call her and let her know when you're going to come by. And I've told him in the past, he's the one that always says, I love you. I love you. I said, let me tell you, stop saying that. I said, because you don't. He said, yes, I do. I said, you love the idea of me. I said, because you go to Cleveland religiously to see your friends, but you don't come. You haven't been here one time to visit this aunt that you claim you love so much and so grateful to for helping raise you as a child. I said, so don't say that. I said, when you show up is when I know the love is there. He was upset.
I'm that way too. Don't tell me you love me, but you don't reach out. I mean, Lisa and I were talking another day. I was saying one of my cousins, has had a situation going on, dating a relationship, and they lived like a couple of blocks from my house. I said, I've lived here 29 years, going on 30 years. and they haven't visited once.
Mm.
But yet they say, I'm so proud of my cousin. I'm so proud of my cousin. Now, his brothers and sisters, and they've been here, but he hasn't been here once in 30 years.
Mm.
And so my thing, I'm a believer. Live out your love. If you love people, let them know you love them. Go out, do things, call them, surprise them. You know, it don't take much. Just a hello. Just a hello on someone's work day. Someone's just texting them and say, just thinking about you.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Makes a big difference to know that someone in the world is thinking about you.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't know when that, like where they are when you send that message to say, hello, how are you? And I started asking people, how are your heart and spirit? Mm-hmm. You don't know what they're going through when you reach out to them, or just drop the line, I love you, or I'm proud of you, stuff like that. I send my family text messages like that all the time, because we are a small family now. You know, it's only 3 of us as siblings, but there's only 3 of us left. And we have, we don't have as many nieces and nephews as Mimi, but the ones we have, I try to make sure that we stay in contact, because that's important. And then the true friends that I have, I try to stay in contact with. And, Jazzy and I, we have our, once a month, we try to make sure once a month we get together for lunch or something. And we have a place, an area that's halfway between where she lives and I live, and I go there and we meet up at least once a month to just hang out and celebrate each other, like just to be together and talk. And I think that's important. And whenever I travel, if there are people in that place where I'm going, I make sure I reach out to them as well. Yeah, to know them offline.
It's so funny because the other day I sent out a message of just encouragement of don't be afraid to take the next step. And I sent it out with the fireworks. I sent the fireworks out, and then I just sent a special message to some of my friends on Instagram. So one of my connections is a news anchor at NBC News. I met him on the streets because he was doing camera work while I was photographing, and we struck up a friendship, a relationship online, and just having conversation. And then so I sent him, I sent a couple of my friends this attachment with the fireworks, and not be afraid to take the new steps, the chapter. Don't be afraid of new chapters, because when you go to a fresh page, it's a new page to play, to enjoy, to work, to create. He sent me back a DM. And he said, he says, you have no idea how much I needed to hear that. He just got a new promotion at NBC.
Oh, okay.
And so he's going to be doing, I think he's going to be an anchor now. He's going to be on the TV. So he just got a promotion. But he sent me that. He says, thank you so much for sending that. He says, it came at the right time. I needed to hear this.
Yeah.
And so you don't know. I'm always challenging myself, because sometimes we overlook, like we get these little voices in our hearts and it says, call such and such, text such and such, check up on such and such. And then we just, we keep moving in our busy day. I've tried to, over the last 15 years, maybe 10, 15 years, to be more cognitive and to make and do something about it. If I think about someone, then I make sure I try to send them a text, because the least I can do is get the text going.
Absolutely. I believe when people come to your mind and it says reach out to them, there's a reason why. Yes. So I always, whenever people come to my mind to reach out to them, even with some of the artists that I know, and we may only communicate through DM, I will reach out to them and say, hi, how you doing? Just to check in. And definitely with family and friends, how you doing? Or just send them a message because you needed to hear that today. Let them know, hey, I'm praying for you today. Whatever it is, I try to do that. And I think that those things because you don't know what people are going through. You don't know where they are. Sometimes those things are actually times when your hello and and I was thinking about you, and you're amazing. You know, that may save somebody's life.
Yes.
Because you don't know where they are. You know,
and you'd be surprised
like,
how many times I've been on this, you know, in this community that we created here, and I've said something, or someone on this platform has said something while we're in this community chatting, and then I get a DM. I don't know, forget one time we were talking about suicide, right? We were talking about unliving yourself.
Right.
And it was in the celebration, you know, it was the Suicidal Awareness Month. And Brian was sharing, and we were all talking. And then someone sent me a DM and said, "Today you saved my life. Your conversation saved my life." Here's one right here that says from Mr. DS. He says, "I have seen Elise several times now on this show, and I think others, and I love her smile. I dig her vibes." You see, so we don't know who we're touching. We don't know you know, now that I've been on this platform now on YouTube and Instagram, and sometimes I'm in the city and I'm in an event, and someone will come up to me and say, "Oh, I see you on YouTube all the time." I'm like, "Really?"
Right.
I'm like, because first of all, YouTube, not like Instagram, you might have a chance to see who's watching you, or they may leave a comment.
Right.
YouTubers, they most likely will not leave a comment, but they view the whole show, because I know that people are watching, because at the end of the month, 28,000 people have watched us in a month. That's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people. That's great, though. That's
28,000 people watch what we do here.
Yeah,
in a month.
And that's your consistency too. You know, that's my area of growth, is being consistent.
Consistency is key.
I'm working on it right now. I'm consciously working on it, but you know, I was looking at something Lisa said about friends and being how you clarify who friends are, and I think that's the important things too. And I had to teach my children that when they were younger. I said, so all those people aren't your friends; they're your acquaintances,
your acquaintance,
and all those things, and how we categorize friends and what friendship is. Because I think a lot of people are challenged with what true friendship is.
Yes,
and really, true friendship is not just transactional.
It's not.
Everybody say all relationships are but they're not always that way.
No,
it's about. I don't expect things in return when I reach out to someone.
Absolutely.
All I know, that person comes to my mind, or I come to their mind and they reach out to me, because people reach out to me as well. Like, "Oh, how are you doing? Haven't seen you in a while." You know, that kind of thing. Even if they're online people, they'll send me a DM. Is everything okay? And so people are watching you. They see you. They check on you. And and friendship is definitely different, you know, and you know, they ebb and flow like anything else. Some of those are lifetimes and some of them are seasonal, but you have to know how, and you have to know what role a person puts you in their life too. Because they may say, "Oh, I love you," and then you find out your role is really just a transaction. Okay, so I'm going through something, or I need something from them. Then that's when they reach out to you, when you really are saying, "Hey, how are you doing?" You know. So,
I have acquaintances that will reach out when they need something, but I will never hear from them any other time. So I'm never angry about those relationships.
Right.
That's who I am in their life.
Right.
And I've learned over the years to segment my relationships.
Right. Yeah.
Or compartmentalize. So there's some friends that, I mean, I have some do or die friends. I mean, like Linda's right here. Linda, if I need to leave this house and go to her house, and she's like, "Ron, you have a space. This is here." Even with this whole moving, you know, this whole thing that I'm doing right now, she goes, "Ron, I want you to know there's a bedroom in this apartment. And if you ever need to be here in New York City, you need to come here. This is where you need to be. I have a space for you. You need to be here."
Look, Ron, I'm always telling people, I get a plane ticket right now. Do I need to be there? And I'm real serious about that.
Well,
plane or train. I am real.
when my friends tell me that, like for instance, my friend who you all guys know is my friend Vivian. Mm-hmm. Vivian's who I spent time with in Africa. Now, how I met Vivian was at an art gallery. We were there for this event to celebrate this amazing wildlife photographer. And I'm trying to take pictures and she's in my way. And I was like, why is this woman in the middle of my frame? She needs to get out the way. So instead of being a jerk, I just went up to her and say, this is a nice photo, isn't it? Kind of like in a way, trying to like get her like motivated so she'll get out of the way. And we ended up talking for hours. We did not stop talking. She lived in South Africa. They had a house there, but they also had a house here in America and yada, yada, yada. Anyway, long story short, she says, you have to come visit us in South Africa. And I said, really? And she said, no, you have to come and visit us. She goes, it would be great. Come on down to South Africa. I said, I will be taking you up on your offer. I will be coming. And then she looks over to her husband. She calls over to her husband and she says, Jeff, meet Ron. We just met here at the painting and blah, 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 at the picture. Yada, yada. She says, he's coming to visit us in South Africa. And he says, do you like wine? I say, yes. He goes, then you're welcome. and literally 1 year after that, I was in Nigeria. And then I call her up and say, I'm in Nigeria. Are you guys home? And she says, yes. And I say, can I come down to South Africa and hang out with you guys? She said, absolutely. I booked my flight, got on the plane, was in South Africa. And it was my first, I had never been to South Africa ever. And I was there and we had the time of our lives. I get out my Uber. And then my Uber driver takes me to the address, and then I'm walking down the block. She comes out the house. She says, "Ron," I said, "Vivian." And it was like we were friends, but we've been, there's certain people you meet in life. They call it like kindred spirits, kindred people that you meet them, and it's like you've known them in a past life, or you've known them all your life. So that's our relationship. It's been that way ever since. We've been the closest of friends. That's how I ended up in South Africa. The first time I was there just visiting, and the second time I was there hanging out with them. I stayed and lived with them when I was in Hermanus outside of Cape Town. But that's how you build it. I say people say, Ron, how do you know all these people around the world? I am friendly. When I go to places, I talk to everybody. I mean, with caution, obviously. Yeah. I'm usually observing the room first. I'm not like my buddy. One of my buddies, he talks to everyone. We go to the restaurant and he goes, "Oh, that's a nice little meal you got going on over there." And I'm like, dude, leave them alone. Leave them alone. And he'll have a conversation with everyone. Now, I'm the other person. I'm usually checking out the environment, making sure they're sane. I'm trying to see if their interactions are going right. I'm analyzing everyone first, and then I dive in. But that's how you build relationships. I have friends in India, friends in, I met people for so many parts of the world, in different parts of the world. Like I was in Malta one year, hanging out because Adrian invited me to Malta. We're hanging out. He said, "Pop, you got to come to Malta because it has all this history." And and I said, "You know what? I'm coming." So he's working all day and I'm around. I'm just traveling around, going to place. Then I meet these sisters that were from Germany. And we were all on the same boat ride together. It was like 6 of us in this boat going through these, these mountainside tunnels and stuff. And we bonded. And then they were like, "Oh, you have to come to Germany. You have to do this." And I still have their numbers. I still have my friend that I met on that boat ride who lives in Brazil. We still talk to this day. And that was 2014, I think it was.
That's great.
And we still talk. I said, when he comes to New York, we connect. And I said, one day I'm going to get to Brazil. We're going to hang out. But what makes those relationships unique is that you stay in contact and you keep nurturing the friendships along the way.
Right. Look, I'm gonna have to find me some friends in some other countries, Ron, so I can travel.
No, yes. Look, you gotta travel. You gotta travel because you'll meet people in the most. You'll be hanging out in Paris. Like my buddy from Nigeria. I met my buddy from Nigeria that became one of my best friends in London.
Oh,
I was hanging out in a hotel in London, waiting for my other friend from Atlanta to come. He got stuck in the Netherlands because of a snowstorm. And then I end up in a hotel by myself, sitting there like in the lobby. And then my other friend says, Ron, you should go online. I was like, oh, I don't go online. I don't talk to people online. Blah, blah, blah. And then I go online. Then I talk to, and I'm talking to people online about, London. It was my second time in London. It was my first time in London. And I was like, oh, what to do here? I'm here. I'm hanging out. And then people are engaging me. Oh, this is your first time in London. You should go to this place. You should go to that place. Then one of my friends said, hey, let's meet tomorrow, and I will take you to the famous Vietnamese restaurant in London. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, we hit it off, and we've been friends ever since. And then that's how I ended up in Nigeria every year for like 8 years.
Oh wow! Look,
because we met in London.
You're gonna have to give me enough notice, and I'm gonna have to meet you in one of those countries. Like, okay, Ryan, give me enough notice. I'm coming. I'm gonna be over there when you over there visiting with your friends.
Well, the whole thing too is because I met him. I was hanging out with him, and then his best friend who lived in Atlanta was hanging out in Nigeria. I met him. We became good friends because we both live in America. And then next thing you know, that's how I ended up meeting my friends that are in Namibia. And that's why I'm going to be in Namibia, because I met that Namibia friend through him. So you see how if you just stay open to the universe and what it has to offer, life is amazing.
Yes,
Can I just say that?
Well,
life, when you look at how you meet, how I meet people and connecting with them from place to place and building relationships along the way, someone needs to hear this today.
Yeah. And it's
don't shut down your life from the world. One of my friends, he takes pictures and he's in a hood. He's always hiding. And I said, will you please take off the hood and take a regular photo? I said, who are you hiding from? Who are you hiding from? I don't want to talk to anybody because I don't want anyone to interact with me. I'm like, you're missing out. You are missing out on all of the opportunities the universe wants to bring your way, the blessings that wants to come your way when you shut yourself off from the world.
Absolutely. And that's the thing people have to do is embrace and free themselves. Like free yourself from all of those. I know people are naturally, some people are very shy and all that, but free yourself enough so that you can explore life, that you live life, and you're not holding yourself back from what you enjoy. It's when you do the things that you enjoy, that's when you meet people. Because that's the most relaxed environment. And for me, my family will tell you, I am the most talkative and outgoing when I'm around people in the arts, whether it's music or visual arts, whatever it is. If I'm in an art type of environment, I'm extremely social because that's an area where I'm passionate about. That's something I love. That's where I'm very comfortable. But that part, discovering the comfort around that over the last few years also makes me more comfortable in public with other people. Like just meeting people, saying hello and asking questions. I've become more comfortable that way too. And I had to learn, you just free yourself and truly live life.
Truly live life.
Living and enjoying life. Life is meant to be enjoyed. And yes, we have our moments.
Yes.
But that moment should not be your life. That moment shouldn't keep you from living. Just live life, go out and have a good time. And some of us go through, it's like Lisa talked about her experiences. And one of the things I said is that people often say, they'll look at where you are in life or what you're doing in life. Oh, I want to be just like you. Or I want to, my husband and I be married 50 years. And they say, oh, that's the kind of love I want. I said, but you know what? What you see what you see, but do you want all that comes with the journey to get you there?
Yes.
Not that our journey has been a rocky one, but what you see something on the outside that looks good, but you don't understand. Would you have once I tell you my journey?
Yes.
Is that the journey that you would have wanted? Because all you see is the green grass. You don't see the rough roads and the rocks, the rockiness and all of that it took to get it to get where you are, right? Most people don't see that. And that goes with that saying that with people and Black people in particular is that like they love our rhythm, but they don't want our blues.
I'm gonna jump in here because one of my best friends is in here. Another one, she's in here. She's in the building. They're popping in like popcorn. let me Yvette. Yvette is, and I will say this without tearing up. I'm gonna get through this without tearing up.
Hopefully.
Yvette, we've all grew up together here in Clinton Hill, Fort Greene. We grew up. We started the same church. We were all young. We were in our 20s, early 20s, fabulous young folks hanging out at church together. And I met Yvette through her sister. And then we became, she and I are close. I mean, I'm close to her sister, but she and I are closer. Yvette has been my friend probably now going on, let's say it's almost 40 years or near 40 years. Because I am 20, we met like I was 21, 22, but she became I had moved over to St. James. Yeah, so about, I would say almost somewhere around that 40 yearish.
Right.
This is true friendship. Every venture I have ever tried, when I first said I'm going to be an interior designer, Yvette said, come decorate my house. Come decorate my house and I'll pay you for it. She was my first client. She was my friend, but she believed in me.
Yeah.
And said, Ron, come to my apartment and do my apartment. I want you to do my apartment. And so I ended up designing her apartment because also when I was in college, when I was in between college and working on Wall Street, some of my friends would say, Ron, could you come over? They would always ask for free advice for their apartments. Yeah. Ron, could you help me with this? Ron, could you help me with that? Ron, could you show me this? How can I do this in the kitchen? How do I do this in the bathroom? How do I do this? Right? But Yvette was the only one that said, Ron, could you help me? She said, oh, you're doing it. And this was before I was at LLC. I was just doing it, stepping out of my interior design circle. And she hired me. Every single thing I've done as a photographer, I've done my photography. My photography is in her house. I mean, not just small little, she's bought big pieces that sit in her house. She has supported me in all of my journeys. When I started, and I know she's like lives in the shadows of outing her today. One day the bathroom is my communication room. So I'm hanging out and I'm going to the bathroom using it, and I get on the phone and I'm looking at the phone, going through things, and I see this thing happen on my Patreon page. Because she's been a Patreon member since I started paying my Patreon. Like I said, she's the friend that's always supporting. Now I'm so excited that I can now support her, because now after I sell this apartment, I can now because she started her company. Like you see me, I always share her advertisement of her cigar company.
Cigar company.
Yes, so I always put it on here. But that's my way of supporting her business. And now I can really dive into her business now. She doesn't know I already have plans for her. And we do that. We back and forth. But so one day I'm sitting there, and she was like a $10 Patreon member. She was like $10 going, So then the Patreon notification came through that the $10 member became a $100 member.
Mm.
And I said, is this a mistake?
Who is this?
and then she calls me and says, Ron, I just want to make sure I went through. I upgraded from this amount to this amount. I want to support because I come on, I see what you do online. I see how you're blessing people. I see how you're encouraging folks. And I want you to know that I'm support. I want to support what you're doing, blah, 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 blah. And she's been doing this for now, what, 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
$100 she puts into this community.
Yeah, and that support is so important. Like it's important that we all support each other, right?
Yes.
You know, and we had in this group we have supported each other, and the people in this group who have like gone to my website and bought hats, I appreciate that. Even though because it has a purpose, right?
Yes.
But showing up, Lisa put her book out. I said, let me order Lisa's book.
Yes.
So that's how we support each other. It's about how we all connect with each other and support each other. Because my philosophy is, if we don't support each other, who is going to, and how do we have the right to ask that other people support us? Support our people. And I always have that. That's always one of the biggest things for me. We often in our communities so upset about what other people don't do. And at the same time, we're not doing it. Mm-hmm. The reason our dollar doesn't circulate but 6 hours within our community is because we're not keeping it in our community. So if I support you, I support Lisa, I support whomever. I don't drink wine, but I bought wine from people, at least one bottle, because I support those people. And then when guests come over, hey, I have wine, you all can drink it, But the point is, and it's from people to keep the money within our community, because we cannot hold other people accountable for doing something that we don't do for ourselves. And that's constantly one of my biggest bone of contentions, is that we get so up in arms about other people, whether they are black, white, whoever they are, when we don't do the same for us. We're not doing it for us. We complain about it and we talk about it, but when we have to be about it. We have to walk the talk that we have. And I'm that person. I'm going to support Black artists. I'm going to support everyone. You do. That's where I am now. And I know, yes, the emerging artist that I went to see yesterday, right now, his art is very affordable. It may not be next year because he's emerging and this is his first big solo show. But I've been there watching him online and talking to him. I've been to his house to have a salon where we just sat down and talked about art with a group of people.
Yes.
And that's the part, is just showing up and making sure that we do our part. We cannot complain about society at large if we're not living up to the principles. People invite you to Kwanzaa events, but are they living Kwanzaa life? Is there cooperative economics? In most cases, no. So we have to live the life that we claim we want to exist. We have to be the ones doing the things. We have got to stop criticizing and complaining when we're not stepping to the plate and supporting each other.
Amen to that. Man, this was Motivation Monday. So I'm not going to go into the other thing because I think we got all of our motivation for the week. This was a great conversation. Everyone has been contributing and sharing and talking. Elise, you always come with the wisdom. And Elise is just like Gwendolyn. You guys all know Gwendolyn. Gwendolyn is all the people that surround me. I have to tell you, they are the greatest of cheerleaders. They are my cheerleaders. They keep me moving forward. There's days that no one ever sees when I'm maybe here that's having a moment and just don't feel like I'm going to go forward. To come on here every day is work. To be the one that encourages others is work.
Yes, it's work.
And I have been blessed. I always, I believe I'm a person of faith.
Mm-hmm.
I believe that God puts people in your life to keep you energized and moving forward. And when you get that little dip, someone comes in, and if you surround yourself with all these strong, powerful people in your life, and when you are on your dips, they always show up on time. They always show up on. I mean, like I said, I've had my photo exhibitions, and Gwendolyn will get on a plane, drag her husband to New York from Texas to just be at Ron's gallery opening.
Right.
Or Elise, I see Elise meeting all these artists, and we'll go to our somewhere no one visits, no one goes, and she will go and support an artist that she may have never met in person.
Right.
But you know what? To have those kind of friends in your life, you must be that kind of friend. To have that kind of support, you have to be that kind of support. Yvette knows. Right. There's nothing on this planet, if I have power to do for her, it will be done. I will stop the world. I will stop the world for my friends.
Yeah, and that's what friendship is, right? That's what friendship really is being able to do that, just to be there and show up, even if it's nothing but for that person to get that hug in person. Say, hey, I'm here for you. And about the work, one of the things when this artist that I had never met in person, she comes into my lives when I go live. Mm-hmm. or comments on things, and I met her yesterday because her studios are actually across the street from where this gallery was yesterday, and she was describing me to another person, and she said, and she thanked me. She said, because what you do is work.
It's work.
She said, what you do for this community is work, and I never really, sometimes when we're in it, we don't think of it as like work that way, right?
You're like, we love what we do.
It's what we love to do and what we want to share with people. So I never kind of thought about it as, oh, this is work. And so I guess that's a thing for me. And I have so many ideas of things that I want to do and post. I mean, yesterday, and I just started learning how to do voiceovers.
Look at you stepping up.
My post yesterday, it had background noise because I videoed it live. I learned how to turn that off and then put my voice over it to talk about what I saw yesterday. So that was the first time I ventured into doing that.
Oh, Adrian says this. Adrian saying it's actually at least 2 degrees of separation. Ron and Yvette will go to bat for you simply because you are a friend of their friend. This is true. If you tell me your friend needs something, I'm in it. I am in. We won't make it happen. And Yvette says, you should love people the way you want to be loved and treated.
Right.
And I'm going to give her the last word. And here we go with some sharing. I'm going to share what we always do share here. And since she is here, she's going to get the first one. I'm going to say it. Here we go. Let me pop up to my screen and make sure you are supporting Rolling Clouds. Rolling Clouds is a cigar company. Is coming soon. You see it here all the time on this platform. She's one of our greatest supporters here on this what we do here at Touch Base Daily, and as me as a photographer. So Rolling Clouds is coming. It's rolling around the corner. It'll be here soon. And so she knows we're going to get some photos and all that stuff done for her. And also, just so you know, if you want to be on the mailing list, make sure you join the mailing list today. News services, updates, industry news, monthly trends, and all that good stuff. Just go to ronlewisphotos.com and it will pop up on the screen as you enter onto that website. Also, if you're looking for an event photographer, I am he. I photograph all over the world. So you can call me up, book me, and I will photograph your event. I do a lot of commercial events, corporate events, private events. So just do it. And I also do journalism. So journalism, those events in journalism. And again, a thank you to the Patreon members. Your support helps us create amazing content, and we appreciate you. every one of you Patreon folks. I love you. I appreciate it. We cannot do what we do here. And for those that are here for the first time, or you may have just been passing by, or you may just see this video for the first time, if you want to support what we do here, join the Patreon community. It is something worth doing because every week there's information on photography, and you can go and get all the classes and courses that we have there. There's Motivation Mondays there. So become a Patreon member. Okay, I think we got it all covered there. And
do you, friends? How many of us have them? Let's be friends.
Let's be friends.
One that we can depend on. Let's be friends.
Sing it, Elise. Sing it. So we are here. And that's what today's Motivation Monday is going to be all about: friendship, connecting, sharing, loving. Don't be transactional. Just be a friend. Be a friend. And I thank you all for joining me today. And I wish you an amazing week ahead. And I want you to take time to call up a friend and just say, I love you. Yeah. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for being a friend.
Down the road and back again.
Yes, there you go. Yvette says, I just did a chapel with that little friends. How many of us have? Yes, we need our friends. We can never live life without our friends. Our friends keep us grounded. Yvette says, love you all. So good to have you here, Yvette, today. Just to be a part of this party. Guys, have a great day. Enjoy. Later.
All right, bye, everyone.
Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.